Welcome back, everybody, to the World Series of Sealed. My name's Frodan. I'm joined by TJ once again, who had a nice lunch break. Would you enjoy your time off, TJ, or did you miss me?
I miss you a lot. As I was slowly eating my sandwich, I was just thinking, man, I wish I was casting with Dan right now.
Well, the good news is you are now. We have also a great match coming up for you guys. It's Trump versus Firebat. I mistakenly said Zelay. That was earlier in the schedule.
Yeah.
Turns out reading is hard. But, hopefully these guys have had an opportunity to reset themselves and get ready for it. In fact, they're already waiting with Wade to do some betting. But remember, these guys are at 700 apiece, and the ante has raised. So they have less breathing room this time around. And I want to see some aggression. Everyone's kind of making the halfway thing. They're playing like, I'll bet, but I'll just call.
Yeah, I'll call, not
No
raise.
one's double betting, man.
Yeah.
I want to see the first double bet.
Yeah, hopefully we get to see it. But we are going to send it to Wade on stage, waiting on the players' initial bets.
All right, so we're back, guys, and both of you sitting at 700 chips. Didn't go so well in round number one. An opportunity here to, make a comeback a little bit or potentially knock out your opponent right now. So the antes are 300 now, so go ahead and put that in the middle. Because you guys are starting with the same amount of chips, Firebat, you're going to have the first action on blue side.
Check. Let's have a nice friendly game of checking Hearthstone.
All right. So just 300 or 600 total in the pot right now. Good luck in game number one. Oh, I should actually remind Firebat, you want to list the three classes that you have as well as the one that you're playing this game?
All right, I have Druid, Paladin, and Rogue, and I'm starting off with Paladin. And I have Priest, Warrior, Rogue. I'm starting off with Priest.
All right, so good luck in this match.
Ooh, a handshake. You know what? They kept it civil. I think it makes sense. Okay, so Firebat checks because he wants to be the one reacting off of a bet in case he wants to see it. But knowing Trump loves doing this all the time. I've sat down and played some games with Trump before, and when he can be conservative and have an ability to stay in the game longer, he'll do that. He's not necessarily, he's not an aggro player. He's a control guy. He likes more turns. So it makes complete sense that he went for the conservative thing. But come on. I mean, this is kind of the whole point. He could have really twisted the knife. He saw that Firebat was a little bit safe. I want to see the twist on the knife sometimes.
And now that they've seen each other's decks, they have to know at this point, like Trump's got to know that Firebat had a pretty poor draft. So sometimes you just got to go in for the kill, raise it. The pot's still pretty big, though. The ante's now 300. So that means that the pot's just 600 without even any bets, just with the absolute minimum. So still, these are a large percentage of these guys' pot left. Almost 50% of their total gold at the moment is in the pot. So,
yeah, but there's one thing that you can definitely see is that Trump is also a man of the people. He's playing Priest to start things off on game one, and Priest is a really underrated class in Sealed. You have options of just like if you can get Zombie Chows, which because Nax Rammus, you have a higher chance of drawing Zombie Chow. Valence Chosen with like Death Lords is also really sick. We've seen a lot of ability for Priest to grab the board and never relinquish it. And like we said, if AoE is hard to come by or removal isn't as plentiful, maybe that's an opportunity for Priest to just run away. I want to see Priest win a game.
yeah, you can Light Bomb, even though it's an epic, you can still get, a Light Bomb. Holy No is a common, so that's fairly common to find one of those in your sealed draft. And Valence Chosen is a common as well. So Valence Chosen, you're going to have two of those, especially since it's a class-specific card. And you should be able to snowball at least some kind of board with that. So I was surprised that this was the only Priest, and we actually saw, well, I guess Trump is also the only Warrior. Warrior does have weapons, but they sometimes suffer from the lack of like a hero pod that interacts with the board. So curious to see if this lineup from Trump is going to take him, any further than being one of the first couple players eliminated.
Yeah, keep in mind that, even though there is scheduled matches, so for example, Trump is scheduled to play Strife Crow and Firebat against VLPS, later on, of course. If they get eliminated here, there is no games, and we just kind of move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then once we get to the elimination matches after the schedule,
I will fight with honor.
we redraft.
We redraft. Let's go into game number one here. With the Paladin versus Priest. Really interesting choices again. Having that anything can happen. It's a very unusual take on being able to build a Paladin deck, but that's Firebat for you. He loves seeing things in a unique perspective. That's what made him play that stood out in the first place.
Yeah, if you're just now joining us and didn't get to see the drafting process earlier, Firebat does have 2 anything can happens.
With Murloc Tide Hunter, Murloc Tide Caller,
Puddle Stomper, Murloc Knight.
Knights.
Pretty much all the cards that don't really have synergy with the other Murlocs.
So every card that's not in Murloc Paladin for constructed, they just like, you know what? You go in.
Yeah.
You go in.
It's a bold call. It's a risky move, but Firebat decided to do it anyway.
All right. Well, Trump has the ability to shut down this Puddle Stomper, but that is going to open him up to Muster for Battle. Muster for Battle with the Solemn Vigil is very good, allowing him to effectively draw cards for the following turn.
Yeah. It seemed like Firebat built the deck and then realized, you know what? I have 20 good cards. What do I need to put in it? Let's just put in 8 Murlocs and 2 anythings.
Well, that's like a late game play, which I guess to him it feels like an alternative win condition, because if you can play 2 anythings in the course of a game, you might just have overwhelming board control.
Yeah.
All right, well, Chewin' Yeti, it can be answered here, but he also can develop other things around it, depending on if he wants to draw cards. He can draw. He can actually get full Solemn Vigil value.
Yeah. And
sick.
Spot's the way to do that, and still has the opportunity to outdoor Peacekeeper, which seems like the play. I don't think. Oh well, no, it's not good this turn.
Next turn.
Yeah, he already used the weapon, so he can't quite trade into the Chewin' Yeti, but outdoor Peacekeeper definitely a solid play.
Well, Trump can play the Sludge Belcher, which doesn't get challenged onto the power of the board. He also can develop and play Shadow Word Pain, one of the 3 drops if he chooses to. He has a couple of flexible options here.
And that would allow him to play with the Shadow Word Pain, develop an Emperor Cobra, which could shut down some things. Pretty much, as long as your opponent doesn't have a weapon to deal with it, or an activator for the egg, which you're not sure at this point how consistent Firebat's activators are for those Nerubian eggs. It would answer a 5-drop, which could be potentially really powerful.
Right. Plus, Sludge Belcher has less chance of dying, and he wants to be able to use it to protect. How often do you get to proactively develop Emperor Cobra into a 0-attack board? It's not very common.
Not at all. No, not at all. And
of course, Firebat has the right answer with True Silver Champion. You can just snipe the Emperor Cobra. So Trump's value off the Emperor Cobra has effectively gone to 0. But that means that, again, the Sludge Belcher can just be coming down here. And yeah, he doesn't have no use for the hero power either, unfortunately.
Yeah. So he might as well just... he could have played Senjin and hero power to face, but that 2 damage to face just doesn't matter at this point. So you might as well just develop the highest mana cost minion that you have, so that way you open up next turn to be able to play the Senjin plus a 3-drop, like Shadows and Cleric, which he has in his hand.
Yes, Blessing of Kings, pretty nasty. It shuts down the first body Sludge Belcher. Firebat's okay with parting ways with the second weapon charge. He's got another True Silver anyways.
All right, so the big question here is, can Firebat get through to the late game with having potentially dead cards in his hand? Second Nerubian Egg, no activator. And anything can happen, which at this point would summon a Puddle Stomper, a 10-mana 3/2.
Well, let's see what Trump gets off of it. I see legendary card. Oh, it's Stalag. I thought it was something really cool. You see like Sylvanas or Cairn, Sneasel Shredder, some really awesome Museum Curator cards.
Yeah.
I mean, Stalag is the strongest minion stat-wise. Huge Toad fits the curve as well. Don't think Chow is very good, so I would probably lean towards Stalag. He has 5 mana remaining, and it feels like it can fit. However, I think when he's also considering the board, the egg itself challenges Stalag, so maybe that makes him reconsider.
Yeah.
Would you go for Toad, or would you go for a Thaddeus, bro?
I'd probably go for the Toad. Zombie Chow, that's not what I expected at all. This allows him to play Senjin, but it doesn't really contest the board that much. I guess you're not really going to go aggressive with this deck, so healing him for 5 really doesn't matter. But
yeah, that makes sense, I guess, because he wants to develop proactively onto the board with the Senjin.
Yeah, the difference between a 2/3 and a 3/2 is not that big at this stage.
But he gets punished pretty heavily for it. Oh man, poor Trump. True Silver Champion, a bully, and all of a sudden his board has went kaput. He's going to use the Holy Nova, but still can't even, like, he has to give up part of his own board to do it as well.
Yeah. Went kaput.
Oh, that's not bad.
Well, this is a full clear.
Yeah. Well, he could have full cleared before too, but now he can even heal the Yeti.
Oh yeah, with the Shattered Sun Cleric. Looks like he's still gonna go.
Yep.
All right.
So so he attacks and then he's gonna have to do it, but it's like nothing else you can really do here.
Yeah. I was thinking he might want to keep the Yeti alive. If you do
use abusive,
yeah, if you use
have to heal it.
Yeah, if you use abusive, and then you can bring the Yeti back up and keep
5 health.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. You're right.
So you keep it alive from the True Server Champion.
Well, then the Shattered Sun Cleric dies. No matter what, it feels
it wouldn't be the Shattered Sun Cleric. It'd be the abusive sergeant.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
So I don't know. Just a thing to think about. He made the play really quickly because he had the play already in his head. Elise Starseeker. All right. Well.
Wow.
So it's going to be Trump's late game, which is going to be the Golden Monkey, versus Firebat's late game, which is going to be 2 Anything Can Happens.
I think the Anyfin is slightly stronger, assuming he has the Murlocs come into play. Because it actually floods the boards with a bunch of stuff, and you're dropping 1 legendary per turn.
Potentially, the second Anything Can Happen could just summon a bunch of 1/1s.
Yeah, but I guess you're right. But
Yeah.
then if the Murloc Tidecaller ends up getting buffed a lot, it's not too bad.
That's true. So Tide Hunter and Puddle Stomper have been played. You know, I've made the habit of keeping track of Anything Can Happens in the past, just so we could do math, but I'm just going to keep track of it just for the kicks and the giggles.
That's why they pay you the big bucks, TJ.
Yeah, that is indeed. Well, Ship's Cannon doesn't really do much. It's basically just a 2/3, and Trump's starting to lose control of the board here.
It gets eaten up by the Nerubian egg, so it doesn't feel like there's a strong incentive to trade into it.
And this has to be the swag Anything Can Happen.
Well, I mean, it's not bad. It summons 3/2 and 2/1 and a 1/1, right?
For 10 mana.
I mean, you're not using your mana anyways.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You might as well wait till you have just one more.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe one more Murloc. Maybe get that Murloc Knight out there. Because
Yeah.
then that'll summon its own Murloc. So eventually, we could get to a point where it's being, oh, there's a Velen's Chosen, but at the moment, there's not really a way that Trump can make use of it immediately. So he's just going to preemptively throw it on the Ship's Cannon, make it a 4/7. Still tough to get through.
Until a Spellbreaker comes into the equation.
Yep.
Firebat, what are you going to do? Oh, well, Zombie Chow is going to definitely have to be put on wait. Or sorry, you're going to definitely be able to be played here and put the Anything Can Happen on wait status.
Yeah.
But it's one of those situations where Trump definitely needs some help here. I'm wondering if he picked up Light Bomb or if he picked up some other really useful cards to climb back.
So Trump's pretty much at a point where he needs that Life Bomb.
Do you believe, TJ?
Do I believe? What does he even need? Does he have to draw the Golden Monkey at this point? Entomb?
Okay, his opponent's at 1 card. How much would you really save this Entomb? I think you have to use it.
Do you use it on the Nerubian? Okay. Let's look at maybe the Spellbreaker. Because Nerubian, when it goes back into your deck, becomes a 2-mana 4/4.
3 mana.
3 mana 4/4.
Yep.
Well, Spellbreaker's a 4-mana 4/3.
Nasty.
Yeah.
Zombie Chow. I guess Zombie Chow gets into... Actually, maybe he would consider it a 1/1 token, so it's not eligible for Shadow or Death.
Yeah. And also, the Zombie Chow is something that you highly value killing later on anyway. So you're basically just making a minion that has high value in killing, higher value. So you might as well split the decision for Trump.
Okay, well that's gonna wrap it up. Trump is just gonna get overwhelmed, and once again, Priest doing what Priest does best, I guess, which is hero
Conceding.
power passing.
Yeah.
No, it's one of those unfortunate situations where Firebat had a really high value hand. He had 2 True Silver Champions, a Blessing of Kings on Nerubian Egg. I mean, that's actually kind of what you do with an Egg Paladin in a constructed format.
Yeah.
To a large degree.
Yeah. And still no Anything Can Happen gets used there, but that deck just seems pretty strong overall, and I can see why Firebat now twice has thrown it out as his first deck, if I remember correctly, back to his series. So definitely strong deck. We'll see if Trump can bring it back. I don't know if he's going to throw out that Priest again. It seems like it has potential. Not really much cycle, but if you can get control of the board, then you might be able to piece and win with that deck.
Sure. I mean, we'll find out what happens in Game 2. They're no longer able to play Paladin on Firebat's side, but let's see what they're feeling as we head over to Wade, our dealer, down on the show floor.
Congratulations, Firebat, on that first win of the tournament. It feels good to get that under your belt, I'm sure.
Yeah, it feels great.
I don't know if you're any more confident going into Game 2. We should probably find out what classes you guys are going to be playing privately. So give me 1 second. Just tell me this.
Privately. That was our cue from Wade to be like,
I like how he made eye contact as he slowly came to the realization that they have to make the bets with class information at hand.
yeah.
It's a good time.
Good
Listen, man,
time.
if you can't laugh, then what's the point?
Yeah.
Let's head back over to Wade and see how his private conversations went with Firebat and
I apologize for that. Mr. Dan and Mr. Shimoni here. Is that who's up there right now? TJ. Sorry about that, guys. But we do have Rogue for Firebat and Warrior for Trump. So if you feel more confident, now's the time to get some money in there. You did win Game 1, so you have the first action, Firebat.
All right, check.
All righty. Let's keep it basic. All right, good luck.
All the privacies just so they both could check.
I'm a little disappointed. Right now, assuming the pot expanded anymore, I guess Firebat just doesn't want to be put himself in a position where he could potentially knock himself out by overextending in the bets. But it is slightly disappointing, right?
Yeah.
In terms of like, well, this could be the actual moment that someone pushes, but we have a very conservative line of play. And I think this is what happens when you put two people who are, both have their backs against the wall here.
Mm-hmm.
If Trump loses, then the pot, right now I believe is 600.
Yeah.
So if you lose,
Go
Trump's down to 100.
No, because he put in 300.
You're right.
So he's down to 400.
He's down to 400.
But then in the next round, he has to all in every time because the ante's going to go up to. Does it go up to 600?
Well, I thought the ante was 300.
Right now, yeah.
Okay.
But in the round, every round is going to go up to 4 sort of players to be eliminated.
It's 300 because it's 150 for both players.
No, it's 300 total. Right now.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
So they didn't because they didn't bet. Okay.
Yeah.
Correct. Thank you for correcting. That's why you take notes, TJ, so you can remind me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if this ends up going down, then Trump is down to 400. Yep. And Firebat will go up to
1,000.
1,000.
So he'd be back where he started.
Cool.
All right. Well, we're going to see Trump's Dragon Warrior again. See if we can have success this time because it sort of sputtered out last time. So
Yeah.
Alex Strauss is champion.
I like Alex Strauss as champion. You shut down the Elven Archer. It gives you an ability to develop onto the board. If you play Huge Toad, then the weapon technically clears the Huge Toad.
Yeah.
Which I guess you're okay with, maybe, because then your opponent develops, and then you get to take initiative again.
Yeah, then you just get to play an Alex Strauss as champion, and all of a sudden your opponent has taken 7 damage on turn 2.
That's kind of a punish, though.
Oh, yeah.
Assuming it doesn't just kill off the Buccaneer. I mean, there is that risk.
Then it would have been almost the same outcome. He used the coin to just keep alive his Elven Archer.
With his dying wish, the Toad chooses the Pirate.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty painful.
You got to feel like that's coming, though.
Yeah, I guess so, but you're not happy about it.
Well, now Alex Strauss' champion just gets traded
Ooh.
into, so Trump decides to go ahead and shield block instead, but he gives initiative over to Firebat.
He also gets a dragon, though.
He also gets a dragon. He already had a dragon.
Wow, I'm loving the phase life here from Firebat. Although Trump has some pretty good anti-aggro options. He's got a taunt this turn. He's got a taunt next turn. He's got some removal. Alex Strauss' champion can also remove the Moogla. I forgot the buff of it makes it a 5/5, so you can use it as a bomb.
Yeah, but he's going to go ahead and play Twilight Guardian instead. Bit interesting. I guess he's setting up for next turn being able to have the Belcher that trades into the Mukla, but right now this Twilight Guardian is just going to get eaten up.
Yo, check out this Pit Snake.
Pit Snake, you said before, it's a little bit of an underrated card, especially against classes that don't have a hero power that can interact with the board, because unless they have a spell or a weapon that can deal with the Pit Snake, whatever they throw out is going to get killed.
Yeah.
And
However, Trump does have removal for it. The Alexstrasza's champion. I mean, Alexstrasza's champion is kind of like Bash in a sense. You don't gain the direct armor, but it's just the 3 damage removal at this point. Kill the Pit Snake, you bash the Mukla, move on with your life.
Yep. And Firebat, if we remember back to when we saw his deck crafted, he had the double Assassin's Blade and pretty much a full aggressive type rogue. And that's why he went with the face damage earlier, because he realizes that he's going to be using the Assassin's Blade. He has a low curve, so he's most likely going to be re-weaponing up very often this game. So he makes sure that he gets those attacks in while he can.
Assassin's Blade is a development of a very clunky mana card usage. Like Assassin's Blade is 5 mana, and next turn he probably wants to play double 3-drop. So when we develop Assassin's Blade for the play, oh what?
Yeah, he has the Sea Reaver. He played that earlier too,
Oh,
but
yeah.
Sea Reaver only damages friendly
I thought it
minions.
damaged every minion.
Then it might actually be good.
And we don't want to see that.
No, that's way
okay.
too dangerous.
Gotcha. I thought it was going to eliminate the Divine Shield.
Yeah.
That would have been so nasty.
Imagine if Sea Reaver was good. A card that you draw from your deck that can punish your opponent. No reads in the world can make that happen.
I might even consider buying TGT packs after that then. Mad Bomber?
Uh-oh.
Here we go. One time. 1 in 5 to snipe. Well, actually,
All right.
it's more than that because you have 3 chances.
Well, that's, you know, a decent outcome. At least it didn't hit his face twice in his
That's great.
Sea Reaver once.
And you just use the banana so he gets out of range of Divine Shield trade.
Yeah. And now Firebat's running low on cards, but he's got sort of a little bit of what he needs. Sap for a potential taunt, and Leroy Jenkins as a finisher, but he's still a little bit of ways off of lethal damage.
Does he play Leroy now and just go all face? He might give his opponent too much damage. 7, 10, 16, 18.
18.
Plus a banana is 19.
Yeah.
It's tough.
I don't think you can put Trump on having 7 damage from hand outside of the board, but it...
He also has sap, so he feels like maybe if he keeps Leroy, he still has a way to get through a taunt.
Yeah.
It's close. It's very close.
But then he also has to think, well, if I don't play Leroy this turn and I draw into my second finisher next turn, which is the Reckless Rocketeer, am I even going to be able to play it? Because you won't have enough mana to play everything.
true.
So maybe getting the charge damage now is more beneficial. So that way Firebat opens up an opportunity to next turn draw into one of the outs he would get. Okay.
Interesting.
That's
okay.
probably the play that I expected the least.
Yeah, but now he's super vulnerable to... Well, not vulnerable. It's just like he's... The Sludge Belcher will...
I'd say vulnerable.
Yeah.
He's super vulnerable to Sludge Belcher, yeah.
Yeah. So, Sludge Belcher gives you the ability to play the banana. Probably on the Belcher.
Yep.
And then... I guess you trade into the Toad first. Because you don't want the damage to go into the Belcher.
Yeah, he does have 6 damage after you kill the huge toad, though. So if you put it on the Belcher, then
Oh.
he still trades into it. So maybe you want the
Yeah.
damage to go on the Belcher.
Yeah, I guess you're right, because the damage is overkill anyways.
Yeah.
And it also plays around backstab.
Yes, it does. And Dark Iron Skulker, which is actually a popular card in Sealed and Arena.
Well, yeah, I guess you're right. And he does have it in his deck.
He does. I think he has one, just one, but... oh my god. Wow, Trump found the right play.
Dude, that is sick.
That is... He would have gone through that Belcher.
I know.
Well, I guess he gets through it anyway.
Well,
But he would have gone through it a lot cleaner,
he
I
would have,
suppose.
yeah, it would have been very clean. It's all good.
It's all good.
I guess what's not good is that there's a second Belcher waiting to happen. Oh, and a Wrathy Weaponsmith.
Yeah, and
So
Trump's...
you can Belcher a Wrathy Weaponsmith, kill a 3-1, and then go to face with a 7-2.
Yeah. And Trump's actually starting to get to the point where he's almost piecing together lethal damage.
Yeah, I mean, almost. Not just yet, but we're getting there. Trump's comeback. Firebat needs to find another sap. He doesn't have sap, though. Oh, if he had no taunt, there's a way to get through.
Buccaneer. So the only way he can survive is if he
Dead.
throws the Leroy into the Sludge Belcher, I think.
From what he knows.
Because that would be, he would take 3, but add 2.
Yeah, but he knows that there's okay. So like, there's a lot of power on board, but we know there's Arcanite Reaper. So that's
Actually, I don't think there was a way that he could have
survived.
mathematically survived there
Yeah,
at all.
yeah, yeah. So
right.
he traded. It's all good though, because it doesn't even matter if he survives one more turn. The point is that Trump's so far ahead that he just has to stabilize and squeeze into hero power. Firebat just concedes, knows like, don't want to waste my time. And that means we're going to game 3.
Yeah. And it means Trump's probably going to have to bring out the Priest again. Usually the players have that third class is just sort of the class where they put their extra stuff in.
Maybe he goes rogue though.
Yeah. Or they make it the class that is teched against something very specific.
It's true. It keeps it as a sideboard option. You know?
Yeah, sure, yeah. Which is a smart plan because then you have your 2 mainstream decks that you can just plug all of your good cards into. And then your third deck, which is very, very situational, but can get you some free wins here and again.
All right. Well, what are these guys going to do? Because in game number 3 means that they have to ante one more time, which would put the pot at 900.
Yeah, holy moly.
We'll see how things go.
Yeah.
Let's head over to the boss down in the stage floor and see what Trump and Firebat have to say about this upcoming game.
All right, so Trump taking that game, sending this to a game 3. Not possible for either of you guys to be completely knocked out anymore, so potentially an opportunity to try and get a little bit more chips in the pot before you go into this next round. So because you won that game, number 2, Trump, you do have the option to bet. You are going to be on your Priest, and Firebat, you're going to be on the Rogue still.
Check.
All right, guys. All right, so 300 total, or 600 total in the pot right now. Good luck in game 3.
All right, so not forced to ante again.
The
so
stakes have never been higher, TJ.
Yeah. 600
I don't know.
is the pot now.
I feel a little disappointed by that.
Even Wade told them. He said,
Dude,
"Guys,
you're
it's
not
mathematically impossible,
impossible.
for you guys to be eliminated. So put some extra chips out there. Take some risks." Even Wade's getting fed up.
Well, of course he does. He's the house, right?
Yeah.
The house always wants you to be going in.
That's true.
Yeah. So the situation is that it looks like since they're checking down across everything, it looks like nothing's really happened. So I think the pot's still at 600. Assuming
Yes,
that
it
they were
is.
betting, they might have been bet to 900. That's what I was
Yeah.
hoping for.
Yep. Unfortunately not, but we did have their classes. There was going to be Priest for Trump and the Rogue once again for Firebat. So we'll see if we can overcome. We didn't see too much of the Priest, so probably about half the deck. Nothing really stood out to us too much. But we did mention that if he can take control of the board, then he can hold on to it for a long time. Firebat does have that very aggressively poised Rogue deck.
Oh, man, the Shadow Step.
The old Shadow Step, Wolf Rider, Shadow Step. Or Wolf Rider, Shadow Step, Wolf Rider.
That's a good draw. It's
Yeah.
a really good draw. The Pit Snake, I was thinking Northshire Cleric might run away with this game, but now Firebat can shut it down.
Yeah. And Trump realizes that, you know what, Northshire Cleric, he can't afford to throw the Abusive Sergeant out there. Fireball just stagger it down. He wants to keep that 2-drop, the Bloodfin Raptor, to actually be able to contest whatever's next from Firebat. So, smart play.
Oh, definitely. Now, Trump's just going to play according to his curve. With the coin, it's going to be fleshing out very nicely. And Firebat starts drawing some of his other cards, which are, they're pretty aggressive, like Wolf Rider and Shadow Step. But then there's also Dark Iron Skulker, which is kind of this weird cousin where it's It's if the board just gets a little bit out of control, Dark Iron Skulker is there, but otherwise it's not a very good card.
I like that by Firebat. He didn't use the Shadow Step now because he realizes that he's probably going to trade into the 3-2 anyway because of the higher health. And he just wants to push the face damage. He doesn't know if he wants to even Shadow Step in it at all.
Well, not a bad draw. Very early game play. Buccaneer gives him a 2 damage weapon. Does he want to play Cogmaster as well? Probably. Just probably dumps his hand.
Can't guarantee that you're going to draw into a mech anytime soon. So just pushing the damage.
It will get stopped by a Defender of Argus, followed by Sludge Belcher. Unless Trump feels confident of playing the Museum Curator, trying to establish more board, and then using Defender on 2 targets.
Yeah, Museum Curator could pick up Death Lord or another Sludge Belcher.
Death Lord would be so nasty. But it's so funny because then Firebat, like, what if he just has Assassinate or something?
Dark Cultist, Loot Hoarder. Loot Hoarder he can play right now.
Yeah.
And it contests everything on the board. Oh.
Okay, so the Loot Hoarder, the only thing is that it probably gets picked off too easily, so he just feels the Dark Cultist is better for board control. He's even healing his minion. Whoa, man.
Bold.
Dark
Very
Iron Skulker
bold.
time, right?
Yeah, I mean, even if it just takes out the Museum Curator and injures the Chillwind Yeti, I think they're still just going to push face.
I don't think you could afford to miss his damage. You put him down to 13 health. If you attack with everything, you have another Buccaneer, so I think you want to definitely swing with the weapon. Okay, so he trades. That's reasonable too, so that Skulker can get some damage in.
Yeah. Second Belcher. Oh, man.
The line of Belchers is devastating for Firebat.
He needs sap plus lots of damage. And one of the points that you made earlier was, yeah, an aggressively built rogue deck is great, but he's missing additional tools to help with his finishers. And the card that you mentioned was Cold Blood. No Cold Blood, no extra reach, no burn spells. It's pretty much just early game aggressive minions and then late game chargers. And that's it. And it just doesn't seem like it's going to be enough for Firebat to consistently take wins with the rogue deck or take wins with the rogue deck at all. He still has a chance in this one. He's got Shadow Step. He's got the weapons. He's still got a couple more taunts to get through.
Yeah, I mean, based off the way the board looks like right now, Firebat feels really confident. It's like, well, unless he has like a second Belcher, I think I'm okay. But you can see already his eyes flare as soon as he sees the second Belcher. He's like, no way, are you kidding me?
Well, now he knows that there's no more Belchers unless a Belcher was picked up from the Museum Curator, which he hasn't seen yet. It was a Dark Cultist.
He can Shadow Step his Dark. Okay. I guess that's fine too. I guess it doesn't really matter. Shadow Step is also damage done to the face with the Charger.
Yeah.
If he plays the South Sea deckhand. Oh, he's going to do it this way. Okay. It's kind of the same difference, I guess. Because it would be the damage done.
He just takes more damage to his face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He might have. He doesn't have Molten Giants in this deck.
What lurks?
Yeah.
Pretty cool though. Pretty cute. And then he can hero power hit.
Yep.
With the South Sea deckhand.
And he still gets the buff from the Buccaneer. So once again, Firebat making efficient use of his damage, even the damage on his face.
Maximizing damage in every category.
Indeed.
I like it.
All right, well, this is not the best of plays for Trump. He's probably going to feel like he needs to Dark Cultist and Defender of Argus. It would guarantee the buff unless a sap is drawn. But Firebat seems like as long as he picks up something substantial this turn.
It's close.
Oh.
Not that close.
Yeah, not quite.
Not yet. The tension is very it's very tight because
Yeah.
it could either be a point where Firebat barely kills Trump or Trump just like wins by a landslide.
Yeah.
And right now it's getting to the point where it looks like unless Trump draws another taunt or he draws Holy Nova, he's just dead.
Yep.
Shower Pain.
That doesn't look like it's going to be enough.
Entomb. Oh, he's gonna be dead exactly.
Yeah. Firebat really making efficient use out of the Buccaneer.
Man.
And those early attacks, even though he didn't know for sure he was going to re-dagger the next turn, he got the attacks in. He got the damage in early. Just efficient use of damage. This might even be a situation where if he didn't win the next turn, he might not have won at all. It would have given Trump one extra turn to draw Holy Nova, one extra turn to stabilize with his board. He could have entombed this turn, healed up his face, and traded into one of the minions. So, very well played.
Yeah, and like you said, it's exact damage, and it could have been the situation where if Trump survived, then he would not have been able to get past that wall, and he would have just been out healing Rogue's hero power.
Yeah.
That wraps it up. Firebat wins the series and is able to get a much-needed victory to essentially equalize his gold count.
Yeah,
He
back
was
up to
down
1,000.
700, but now he's back up to 1K.
Yeah, and Trump, unfortunately, is down to 400.
Yeah.
So he's got to fight his way back, get all the value he can out of every single gold coin that he has left, every single chip. And we'll see if he can do it. We'll probably see a lot more checks going on. But he's getting to the point where he's going to have to all in
But
as soon as the minimum bet's raised once again.
he can redraft, which is, I think, the key here. If Trump gets to redraft, I'm sure he'll definitely come out swinging this time around. It doesn't look like his first draft was anything too special.
Yeah.
But neither was Firebat's, and he had to kind of make do with what he was given, which is ultimately a mark of a great player as well.
Yeah.
I think Wade is waiting with Firebat and Trump for a couple words to talk about that series as we get ready to wrap up the games.
Congratulations, Firebat, on the 2-1 victory, getting your 300 chips back. And so you're going to be back up to 1,000 going into round number 3. So congratulations there.
Thanks.
Trump, still 400 chips, not out of it. You get to redraft going into the next round.
Woohoo.
Excited about that?
Yeah, can't get worse.
That's true. Well, you did win one this round.
That's true.
So technically it's possible. Firebat, you had the I don't know, what'd you think of that game 3 when you see 2 Belchers come out in a row? You're kind of out of steam for a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was just relying on the top of my deck at that point, hoping that, like, maybe he doesn't find a Holy Nova or a Light Bomb or some AoE. I'm like, well, I guess I'm supposed to be a face deck, and we're out of steam now. We don't have enough damage to get through 2 Belchers and then Defender of Vargas, so I guess we're going board control and hoping for the best. And lucky for me, Trump wasn't able to find any removal there, so my board just stuck around and got some chip damage in.
And Trump, did you have one that you were searching for?
Oh, yeah, that deck has a lot of AoE in it. Unfortunately, I didn't hit any of it, but hey.
I guess that
That's
happens in
poker.
Hearthstone, right? And poker. Yeah. Didn't get the cards didn't fall your way. Again, congratulations, Firebat. We are going to be going into the round number 3 now, or the last match of round number 2. You guys will be moving into round number 3, so good luck in your next drafts.
Thanks.
All right, so with those final words, looks like Trump and Firebat, very friendly, shaking hands, like, thank you for checking, yeah, no problem,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
That's
so-
poker.
Nuance, precision. Let's take a look at the next coming match. We have VLPS versus Zelay that will wrap up round 2. Should be a good time. It's going to be Hunter, Shaman, Warrior versus Hunter, Mage, and Rogue. We'll take a look at the leaderboards as well to see where everyone stands after a few rounds of play. Shreifko in first place, once again, rocking over 2K. My man.
Yeah.
And then Soleil, of course, he's won his victory. He had his victory going up to 1,300. Firebat equalizing out. And then the second half of the group, though, are lagging behind.
Yeah, Raynette and Trump lagging all the way down at that bottom. VLPS coming in this next match has sort of, that big step. Firebat took it last match where he played it conservatively, but he did end up going back up. So VLPS, I was talking to him a little beforehand. He said he might be thinking about taking some risks. So we'll have to see what he has in store for us.